Chapter 1. The Rehearsal. Kirsty Kimball had to ask herself, had joining the Rotary really been a good idea? One of the duties of a loyal Rotarian was to appear here in this draughty room above the village hall to rehearse for the big event of the upcoming holiday season, which is why Kirsty was standing here looking at lyrics and wishing she was at home. The big event, that is, according to the long-time Rotarians who ran the organisation, was the Christmas lights of Cherringham, an evening fete that was supposedly good for local businesses, as well as being good for the village to see the various shop owners and local professionals standing cheek to jowl, howling out bars of holiday classics. There are better things to do with my evenings, Kirsty thought, thinking that standing here was almost insufferable. Ms. Kimball, if you wouldn't mind, eyes up here, if you will. We really can't have people singing into their books. Kirsty wasn't sure that the almighty Roger Reed, whose day job was managing the Greenwood Commercial Bank, did a very good job at smoothing things out here. She shot him a nod and a smile, duly chagrined, and dutifully kept her eyes on Reed as he waved his arms like Mickey Mouse leading an army of brooms. Yes, she thought, maybe time to drop out of this organisation, get her Thursday nights back again. Though in these tricky times she should be doing all she could to help her little gift shop, the Knick-Knack, keep its head above water, and you could never tell how doing this might help. As the others never tired of reminding her, the unspoken bond of the Rotary is always to direct relevant commercial inquiries to a fellow member. One hand washing the other, isn't that what they called it? Well, that was the goal, anyway, along with staging a few charitable events and the big Christmas concert in the village square. She shivered and looked around her fellow singers. All had winter coats, most wore hats. Nobody looked particularly happy. The dismal brown-floored room above the library had ancient cast-iron radiators, but the village hall committee had decreed they should only be turned on when the temperature threatened freezing point. She thought of her snug little cottage, the wood burner glowing cheerily, her supper in the slow cooker. Then she heard someone over in the basses belch, trying to hit the first note of We Three Kings. Lord. Barrel-chested Pete Bull, proprietor of Bull Plumbing, standing next to smarmy Simon Rochester, CEO of a financial thingamajig of some sort. What exactly did he do? She never quite worked it out. She always thought it odd when someone explained what they did for a living, and afterwards you still didn't have a bloody clue. Rochester had told her before how he felt compelled to perform this local service. Otherwise, Kirsty couldn't imagine why on earth he would deign to stand next to Pete Bull as if they were actually mates, toiling together in the commercial trenches of the Cherringham economy. And as if she could feel his eyes, Kirsty quickly redirected her gaze to the front, just catching the ever-hawk-eyed Roger Reed about to fire another withering glare her way. Kirsty smiled as she sang, as if to say, "See, I'm looking at you." Roger seemed to smile back. But then Kirsty realised the smile was aimed at her fellow soprano, Emma Hillock, standing beside her, singing as usual just a quarter tone flatter than the rest of the choir, another reason to reconsider whether she really belonged here. Anyway, a few more carols and they'd finally break for the night, and that thought really made Kirsty smile. Kirsty had gone to recover her coat and bag from the little cloakroom at the back, which was filled with the smell of mothballs and the dry wood of the old building, and where finding one's things at the end of the rehearsal was a game of hide-and-seek. When she spun around, ready to make her exit, she faced Martha Bernard, the choir's pianist. Though retired from full-time work, Martha remained active in the Rotary, loyally organising the snacks for each session. Tonight's were multiple iterations of biscuits, cakes, and the obligatory weak tea, and Kirsty was hoping to escape unnoticed. "Running away so fast, Kirsty?" Kirsty fixed a smile to her face. "No, Martha, just getting ready for my walk home. I'm snowed under with work right now, orders for Christmas, you know." Not true, and Kirsty felt that Martha could see that. "You young businesswomen, always bustling about. It's a different world from my day, as you know." Martha stood leaning on her walking stick. In her other hand she held a plate piled high with biscuits, as if it might anchor Kirsty and prevent her quick dash away. "Can't I tempt you? Got your favourite oatmeal raisin?" Kirsty looked at the plate chocolate chips side by side with what indeed looked like yummy, crunchy oatmeal raisin biscuits. A few homemade shortbread sat to one side as if not up for the competition. Martha's eyes seemed to drill into her. "Why not?" Kirsty said, taking an oatmeal raisin cookie. And because Martha was so studious in her preparations for the snacks at all these events, Kirsty knew she didn't have to ask the usual question, the question that was part of her daily life, something she watched, no matter what she ate or where she went. For under Martha's watchful instructions to all who baked, Kirsty could be absolutely sure that there were no peanuts in the pile of goodies. She quickly dispatched one oatmeal raisin, and then another. Martha smiled, seeming to take a special interest in Kirsty. "Is it because I'm a woman on my own?" she thought, which was true, and also not. "Oh, go on, take a few more for the walk back to your cottage," Martha said, the plate still extended like an ancient offering. "I'd love to, Martha," said Kirsty, "but I mustn't spoil my supper." Hard to say no, they were yummy indeed. She could see over Martha's shoulder. Most of the Rotarians were sipping their tea, chatting, enjoying the odd mix of classes, professions, and interests. Her good friend Beth was right at the heart of the group, laughing at ease with Emma's husband Thomas. She caught Beth's eye, gestured that she had to leave, and Beth smiled and nodded back at her. And for a moment she had to think, maybe not such a bad organisation after all, for those who like that kind of thing. Maybe she could move into the tenors with Beth next week, have a bit more of a laugh. She was aware of Martha still watching her and turned brightly. "And now I really must go." With a grin, Kirsty turned to the double doors that led to the creaky wooden stairs, down to the lobby, and out into the chilly night air.